This is Colin Dixon with nScreen Media, and I'm at the TV of Tomorrow show in New York, and I'm talking to John Geigengack, who is, what is your title at Hub, John?
Principal. I started the company, but we all just go by principal.
That's right, principal.
Keep it egalitarian.
Now, you gave a very interesting presentation, a whole bunch of data, and I wanted you to reinterpret that data through the lens of Disney Plus. So Disney Plus is just released, seems to be doing extremely well. I was reading data that's saying 15.5 million people have already downloaded the app. But you knew that it was going to be popular beforehand, didn't you?
We had a pretty good feeling just based on some of the other trends that we've seen going on in the industry. You know, one of them is this feeling of saturation that people have. The number of different TV sources that they use per person has climbed each year. That we've been tracking it since 2014 until this year, when it flattened out for the first time. And we've also seen attitudinally people are expressing more of a sentiment that they feel like they have too many subscriptions to manage. They don't want to, let alone paying for all of them, they don't even want to manage one more account, manage one more set of shows they have to watch. And Disney Plus is different from a lot of other platforms that are out there in that it is pretty highly focused in terms of the kinds of content that it's on there, and it's built around 5 sort of key brands that are really familiar to people.
Yep.
One of the other things that's a challenge for some other broader platforms is that they have everything, which on one hand is kind of a value, but it's also really hard for people to know, why do I need this one over the others? What am I going to find here that I won't find anywhere else? Disney Plus has a very distinctive identity. It's a very powerful brand. Disney is, and each of the brands that are within it are the same. So it kind of becomes, we think, this distinctive alternative against this backdrop of very similar competitors.
So in your research, you had some pretty surprising findings about the groups, well, some not so surprising, about the specific groups that were interested in Disney Plus?
Yeah, so we've seen that there's much more interest. I mean, interest is pretty high in general. It's higher among Netflix subscribers, which makes sense, but it's also potentially a problem spot for Netflix because much of the most appealing content that's on Disney Plus was on Netflix before.
That's right.
And now it's moving from Netflix onto...
And there were quite a lot of people who did see a value drop in their Netflix subscription from losing that content, right?
Yeah, I mean, so about half of people said that when we... it's important to note that we described to them in great detail all of the content that would be gone from Netflix and onto Disney Plus. So the average consumer, even though they may have heard through the grapevine that change is happening, they don't know what brands Disney owns. They don't know everything that's on Netflix now. But so the very detailed description that we gave them is not necessarily a good facsimile for what the average consumer knows. Mm-hmm. But if you do explain that to people, the fact that all of that content is leaving does have a measurable impact on at least how valuable they say Netflix is.
All right.
There's still about half of people who said it doesn't really make any difference to me at all. So I don't think there are a lot of people who think that Disney Plus is going to be kind of a Netflix killer. We don't really think that's the case at all. People still are willing to subscribe to 4 or 5 services, and so all Netflix has to do is be one of the top 2.
It certainly looks like that to me too. Now, of course, young people are very interested, much more interested in Disney Plus,
and households with kids too.
Yeah. That it seems to me like households with kids are probably core to Disney's service, right?
For sure. And I think where Netflix or where Disney Plus might make a really big impact is not just on the number of subscribers, but the number of people who use it as kind of their home base for TV. So, other platforms have more content than is available on Disney Plus. Pretty much everything on Disney Plus is kind of family oriented. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching outside of that genre, you can't get everything you need from that anyway. But there's a lot of stuff on there, and it's their brands and titles that are really highly regarded. Yeah. And beyond the number of subscribers they get, there's a chance that in the households where it is being used, it's just going to suck up a lot of the time, a lot of the oxygen. Yeah. One thing that people forget is that even as all of these platforms, the number of them expands, the number of TV shows expands, one thing that isn't expanding is the amount of time that people have in the day to watch TV. So as these platforms continue to sort of snatch up bigger pieces of real estate, the ones that are on the bubble, the other platforms are more likely to be pushed over the side because there's just not enough time to get any value from them.
And it also sounds like it could, Disney's also, of course, heavily invested in the pay TV systems. And, of course, most of the people signing up are still pay TV subscribers.
Yeah.
But ironically, it could be that Disney Plus actually reduces the amount of time they spend watching Disney properties on pay TV, right?
And one of the other things that's happening from that merger is, for example, Hulu being the home for all of FX's new shows.
Yep.
And a number of new original shows being developed by FX specifically for Hulu. So I think that's another sort of overlooked area of impact, where the fact that you can get these services bundled together at a really good price anyway, and that a lot of this content is going to go onto Hulu and further differentiate Hulu from a lot of the other platforms that are out there with new, really highly regarded shows that everybody's heard about, and that we've often seen many FX shows be among the ones that people are most likely to say they watch on Netflix. So that'll be another type of content that Netflix will have to replace, and one of their competitors will be able to leverage.
Right. So pay TV operators, that right now, Disney is not working with them. Disney's done a great job of getting Disney Plus on a whole bunch of different platforms, but they've not really been working with pay TV operators to get it on there. So, for example, Comcast Xfinity customers can't get Disney Plus on the set-top box. So I've got two questions for you. Should Disney be working with Comcast to get Disney Plus? Should they be prioritizing that? So that's question one. And which screen do you think people are using mostly to watch it? Because, of course, Verizon has had this promotion to their wireless subscribers for free for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we do should Disney Plus be working with pay TV operators on their set-top boxes?
I don't know if I'm in a position to say what Disney should do. I think that one of the things that makes the arrangement that Comcast and Netflix have mutually beneficial, for example, is that that's a way for Netflix to get in front of people who for whatever reason haven't yet tried Netflix, which is now plateauing in the US at least. For Disney Plus, it's probably less of a priority because they're still kind of on the wave of this big wave of signups. As some of these new Marvel shows start to come out, there's probably going to be plenty to draw people to that on their own. But we don't have data yet on exactly what screens people are watching Disney Plus on, but I would be really surprised if it's not on their TV set. That's how most streaming is done these days, especially for full-length movies or for kind of lean-in, highly anticipated shows like the ones that Disney Plus is offering.
Yep.
And there's a lot of value. I didn't show you the flip side of that question, where we found that people who have cable TV say that cable TV is more valuable with all of that Netflix content incorporated without having to go to a different device first. The flip side of that is also true. People that have Netflix get more value out of, if they have Netflix and pay TV, they get more value from Netflix if it's incorporated with their pay. So just the simple change of having all that content located in one place, seamlessly all available with one remote, from the chair they always use, with the remote control they're used to using, that has a big and measurable and important impact on how much value people are getting from both platforms.
Yeah. So how do people get hold of this research that we've been discussing? How do they get a hold of that? What's the report that they should be looking for at your site?
Well, the one I just showed now is actually taken from a bunch of different reports over the course of the year. So we don't... that's available if you go to our website, www.hubresearchllc.com. And you can also email me at jong@hubresearchllc.com, and we'd be happy to put them in touch with it.
John, thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you very much.
This has been Colin Dixon with nScreen Media.